Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, take two. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Albion Obsessed, episode number 14. We are here on a Sunday evening / afternoon. Not quite sure if it's evening yet. Where we were meant to be talking about the Man United game. But another game goes a begging, and COVID is hitting plenty of games at the moment. As you can see, if you are watching on YouTube, I am here with Aaron. How are we, Aaron?
I'm very well, Joe. Thank you, mate.
Good,
Yourself?
good. And yeah, I'm all right. Just a bit tired, but hey, I won't bore the listeners with why. And Tom, how are you, my friend?
I too am tired, Joe, but I'm on school holidays. I'm having a lovely time.
There you go. I can imagine our reason for tiredness is quite the same.
Probably.
But yeah, hey. So yeah, as I say, we were meant to be talking about the Man United game. Didn't go ahead. We've maybe got Brentford on Boxing Day. But to be honest, I think that might be called off. I'm not too sure yet. Yeah, so what we thought we would do instead is we put out a tweet. I don't know if you guys saw it. Not you two, the listeners. That we were going to go through our worst AMEX 11. We done the best AMEX 11. So now it's time to reminisce about those players that didn't quite live up to expectation or just were simply not quite good enough. I'm not going to say awful. I'm not going to say shit because I don't want to be mean. So, hey, let's go. So yeah, guys, how did we do with compiling our 11s?
There were some tricky positions, I think. In centre back, especially, there were some kind of like hard decisions. But we've had quite a lot of midfielders and forwards to make up for that, I suppose.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see which players you guys have picked. And we'll just have a little chin wag about why they're there.
Aaron, mate, how did you get on? Because you showed us a massive pad's worth of information at the start.
I did.
So yeah,
pretty well actually. To be honest, not too bad. Similar to Tom, I've struggled with one position, which I have to hold my hands up, and I have put something for the Wifteen in there because I wanted to stick with a formation that suited everyone that I had, and that's what I'll say on that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've gone for a little bit of a funky formation. Not too drastic. It could make sense in some sort of universe out there. But yeah, let's see what you guys think. We'll start off. I think we just got to start off with manager, guys, because I think everyone knows who that's going to be. So yeah, it's going to be your boy Sammy Hippier, isn't it?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going Birmingham away at the start of his tenure. I think it was maybe his second game in. And Birmingham had won at home all year. And we lost 1-0. And all I remember is the crowd chanting, "You don't know what you're doing." And it was 2 games into his tenure. You're thinking, it's not going to end well. And the football was absolutely awful. Yeah. Like, I just remember it so vividly. It was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, it was kamikaze at times, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Everyone pouring forward, a bit like headless chickens, and it was just asking for trouble. It was interesting to hear what when you guys did the Craig McHale-Smith interview. Interesting to hear his kind of thoughts on it, about how it was almost like predating, Jurgen Klopp's and the famous German style of high press, high attack.
Yeah.
But whether he was a misunderstood genius or just simply way out of his depth.
Way out of his depth. That's what I'm going for.
I think the fact that he hasn't returned to management since will tell you multiple things. But as we say, we don't really know what was going on in his office and like what plans he had and whether the players that he did have at Brighton were able to execute his plan. Playing wing backs.
The recruitment that season was awful.
Yeah,
compared to him.
Yeah, it was pretty poor. We lost a good few players that were a decent spine of the team. We had a few players that were reaching the end of their career, such as Gordon Greer. I think he only went on for one more season after that season under Houghton. So, yeah, it was a bit of a transition period, you could say, in the club. So maybe poor timing. But yeah. Not great. And I remember the Millwall game at home, and the atmosphere was just like this was, I think, his last home game, and then his last game for us was Wolves, I think. And yeah, the atmosphere was the worst I've ever known it. It was toxic. People were standing up, shouting abuse, and yeah, I just thought, right, Sammy, you do the right thing and just protect yourself and go, because it's just not working. But these things happen in football, and I'm sure he's gone on. He's a strong guy, and has taken it on the chin. So yeah, Sammy Hippier firmly in the manager slot for the worst 11 at the AMEX. So the way we're going to do this, guys, is we're going to go through each position, and we're going to sort of vote on whether that player should or should not be in based on your arguments and based on whether they're voters. So say if we all say three players, the same player, they will go straight into the 11. So yeah, let's go. Let's start, because Aaron, you done, as I say, that pad was a wonderful bit of research from what I can see. You might have just scribbled on it for all I know, but let's start with you.
Look it.
Let's go with goalkeeper.
So I've gone Peter Brezzavan to start with.
Sexy Pete.
I didn't rate him.
How could you?
Didn't rate him.
How
thought he was a very, very average goalkeeper. Yeah, for me, out of the goalkeepers we've had at the AMEX, who I've actually seen, he would be the worst in commas. But yeah, I could get why people think it's a bit harsh. But for me, as I've only seen Brezzavan, I never saw that Gonzalez or whatever his name was, so I couldn't really comment on him. Yeah, for me, Brezzavan or Sexy Pete, as Tom would like to call him.
Sexy Pete. He wanted to do a music career, didn't he?
He did, yeah, and photography as well, I believe, from what I've seen on Twitter. But yeah, he's with us for quite a while, 2009 to 2014. But he only made 47 appearances. I remember one is Wickham away. I remember it was snowing. It was really bad snowfall. We went 1-0 down in like 2 minutes. A cross came in, and it was a really easy cross, like really easy, straight down his throat. He sort of caught it and then just dropped it. Like literally just sort of caught it and just dropped it and stood there. And the guy just tapped it in. And we were just like, what on earth is going on? Like, how has that just happened? And yeah, that's not the only reason why he's in the team, just for that. But like I said, the keeper I've seen, Brezzavan, I've seen Brezzavan more than the other probably worst keepers you have had. So that's the reason why he's in my team. But I'm interested to see what you two got.
Well, first of all, obviously picking Peter Brezzavan, as you saw from mine and Tom's reaction, we love, as Tom called him, Sexy Pete. I do remember, though, to be fair to you, Aaron, I do remember he used to flap at crosses all the time, and he would always sort of parry shots out to where it really didn't need to be parried to, and players would get on the follow-up. Obviously, you being a goalkeeper, I trust your judgment on that, to be fair. So Tom, let's see who you've picked, and see if it pits Peter Brezzavan.
Just to be fair to Aaron, I will say the game when we played West Ham and we got trounced 6-0.
Yeah,
that was possibly one of the worst goalkeeping displays I've ever seen. So I will say that for Aaron. But in my mind, there is one worse goalkeeper that we've seen at the AMEX, and that was David Gonzalez. He came in, I think, just after the West Ham game, actually, because I think Kasper Ankergren was injured, and Sexy Pete was not in the best of form, so he brought in Poyet brought in Gonzalez to sort of challenge for the gloves, and I think he made 4 appearances, and I was unfortunate enough to witness one of them, and it was just dreadful, really, really poor positioning, poor kicking, poor distribution, and he just didn't look comfortable. The defense didn't seem comfortable in front of him. And I remember vividly just being behind the goal with my uncle and my uncle just was literally screaming abuse at him the whole game because it was just that bad. And I remember he went on to, I think he played for Blackpool the following season. And I think he was in goal when we ran out 6-1 winners that season, in that game. And he was awful that day as well. So I've gone for Gonzalez for purely 4 games of utter dross. That's
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
fair enough. I'm backing that vote up, Tom. I've also gone for David Gonzalez. Unfortunately, didn't see him in the flesh, but I've gone for him based on playing less than 5 games for us. I couldn't really bring myself to picking anyone else in that position. I know we've had a few goalkeepers that have only played sort of bit parts, like Steve Harper.
Oh yeah, Steve
Ali Al-Habsi played 1 game for us against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But I couldn't bring myself to play them because maybe I'm contradicting myself here because I didn't see them enough. But for me, out of those 3, it was between those 3 for me. So Steve Harper, Al-Habsi and Gonzalez. I have gone with Gonzalez. Just
yeah.
because...
With Al-Habsi, didn't we bring him in on loan, but he could only play 1 game because it was like
African Cup of Nations.
And you just think, who was in charge of that?
David Burke, was it not?
Goodness, no.
Yeah.
The name says it all.
Yeah.
That was, in his tenure, we had the worst recruitment that I've ever seen. It was just so poor. I forgot to ask you guys actually what your formations were because, as I say, mine's a little bit funky. So, Aaron, what's your formation?
Gone 4-3-3. 4-3-3. 4-3-3. Yeah, 4-3-3.
Yes,
okay.
Nice and simple.
Mine is 3-4-3 because, as you mentioned, Tom, we've got a lot of midfielders to cover.
Yeah.
So I've gone for that extra midfield slot. So I guess what we could do then, because we've got slightly different formations, is if Aaron, you reel off your 4, Tom, if you go for your 4, and then I go for my 3.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. Obviously, 2 votes for David Gonzalez. The Colombian, was he Colombian? I think he was Colombian.
Definitely some South American nation.
It's American, yeah. Colombian,
okay, the South American goes into the squad with the number 1 shirt. So sorry about that, David or David, if you're listening, but somebody has to fill that spot, and it is you. So yeah, let's move on to defense then. As you said, Aaron, this is one that we struggled with a little bit. You've gone for a few with Dean names. Let's see.
I've gone from just the one with Dean name, just the one.
Okay.
I've got my back 4 is Joe Mattock, Aaron Hughes, and Adam Chickson. With the one with Dean name is Colin Hawkins.
Ooh.
Now, Colin Hawkins was probably one of the worst centre backs I've ever seen at the Wifting. I mean, calamitous Colin is just an understatement. He was bad. He was bad. With Aaron Hughes, he was only with us 1 season. Well known for playing at Newcastle and Fulham, but for us, he just done nothing. He was just there. It just wasn't what I would have expected of someone who's played in the Premier League for that long to be. The others, Adam Chickson, he came in and he was young. When he played, he just wasn't good enough. What you're developing, aren't you? So it's always harsh ones. But he only played 6 times, but in those 6 times, he just looked really shaky. And Joe Mattock, we had him on loan in 2012. He done okay. But for the right back spot, it's a difficult one to pick. We've had Bruno and Caldy there most of the time at the AMEX, so Yeah, maybe a little bit harsh on Matic, but that's my back.
Oh, some decent selections there. Yeah, as you just mentioned, Aaron Hughes, just the one season with us. But as you say, just sort of filling a hole because we didn't really have any other centre backs to fall back on. I know we had Gordon Greer and Lewis Dunk still that season, but I think Dunkey was getting suspensions left, right, and centre, and Gordon was probably injured most of the time.
Yeah.
So, Tom, have you got any of the same names there?
Yeah, I picked Aaron Hughes as well. I think we lost Matty Upson at the end of the season before because he was only on loan. I think we tried to get him back.
We did,
he went on to play in the Premier League, I think.
Went to join Leicester.
Yeah.
Joined Leicester.
So we lost Matty Upson, who was a rock in our defence, and we brought in Aaron Hughes. And as Aaron says, you know, he had a wealth of experience, but he also had the turning circle of an oil tanker. So it was, you know, and again, to be fair to Aaron Hughes, he came in at a time when the club weren't heading in the right direction. It does maybe seem a little bit harsh because he wasn't awful, especially by, you know, the standards set in previous years at the Withdean. But I think if we're going for Amex, you know, some of the worst centre backs we've seen at the Amex, Aaron Hughes makes my list as well.
Yeah, fair enough. And what are the other names that you've got in there?
So I've gone from a left back of Joe Bennett, who was on loan from Villa in the 2014-15 season. I thought he was quite a good attacking fullback, but he couldn't defend for toffee. So that's the reason he's in my left back. We've had a few left backs over the years that could fit in there. Adam Chickson being one of them, and also a special shout out to Tarico as well. Getting sent off at St Mary's was just unforgivable, really. So I've gone for Joe Bennett at left back, but with some honourable mentions as well. As I say, Aaron Hughes at centre back, and then I have squeezed in another centre back in Greg Halford. So I've put him in my back four. He was on loan from Forest in 2015. I think we also played him as a central defensive midfielder as well. But I know he slotted into the back four as well at times. And then for a right back, I'm going to repeat those two words: right back. Okay, those two words are very important.
Okay.
The name I'm about to say is going to cause some eyebrows to raise. For my right back, I have picked Pascal Gross.
Oh,
because, and I tell you for why, before everyone starts slagging me off, Pascal Gross is a very good number 10.
Hold on, Tom.
Midfielder.
We need to get you solo layout and explain yourself.
Let's do it, guys. This is a conversation, okay? So I've picked Pascal Gross, the midfielder, the number 10, the man who made Glenn Murray score so many goals in our first season in the Premier League, our Premier League player of the season that first season, as a right back, because Graham Potter has played him at right back. Pascal Gross is not a right back. He hasn't got the mobility for the job. He hasn't got the pace for it. So he is not a right back, and that is why he makes my worst Amex 11 at right back. Because we've had Calde, we've had Bruno, who have been absolutely fantastic players. I have got an honourable mention, though. To be fair, I've got an honourable mention, and that
Save
is
yourself, Tom.
Gonzalo Jara Reyes, who was on loan from West Brom in 2011 and 2012. He was an aggressive man, shall we say. And he just seemed to want to fight everyone on the pitch, regardless of what colour shirt they were wearing. So he is my honourable mention. And I totally understand I'll probably only get slated for saying Pascal, but he is not a right back. He's not a right back. And that is why he makes my 11. Simply because he's being played out of position. But as he's played there before, he's in my 11.
I want to cry. I actually want to cry. Tom,
are you angry with me, or are you angry with Graham Potter for putting a square peg in a round hole?
I'm not angry, Tom. I'm just disappointed. I really and truly am.
It's all
You
right.
know, like what I've done with my team, and I'll read my back three in a minute because it is the stinkiest back three you will ever get. Um, the reason I've got a back three is because I couldn't bring myself to put some players in there. Like, I feel so stupid saying this, but even Greg Halford, I couldn't put him in my worst 11 because, you know, he was a utility player. I feel
Yeah.
like for me, he did work hard every time he played for us. But, you know, that was the level of player that we were needing just to bulk the squad up.
Survive, yeah.
But Pascal Gross in
At
your
right
worst
back.
AMEX 11.
Right back. Not as a
I
midfielder.
I know,
Right
but
back.
even Pascal Gross at right back in the championship, I would have over, as you say, Gonzalo Reyes or Joe Mattock or Greg Halford, or
Fair
I'd
enough.
even play him at centre back for Aaron Hughes, like just for his ability to deliver the ball or create something. Oh, how
That
have
is
you done
As I say, boys, right back.
that?
Not as a midfielder, not as a number 10, as a right back, where Graham Potter has played him at times. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying at midfield. I ain't saying
Well,
that.
Tom, I've got my title. I've got the title to get the clicks, so thank
do,
you very
mate,
much.
you do.
Gross,
Thank
gross
you
in the
very,
worst
very
things.
much.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Are you ready for the stinkiest back three you've ever heard?
Do it.
Okay.
Fire away.
Tom, you mentioned Gonzalo Reyes.
I did.
He makes my right centre back spot. I know it's maybe not his natural position, but he's a defender. I was just going defenders in defenders positions. So he's at right centre back. At centre back, we've got Aaron Hughes, who's also been mentioned. So unfortunately, Mr. Hughes, you are going into the worst Albion 11. And another guy that got an honourable mention, Maurizio Tarico. Was on our coaching staff. He played because we had suspensions, injuries, whatever. We didn't have a left back. He played at St Mary's, played a few times, I think, for us as well over a certain other few games. And he just wasn't up to speed, was he, guys?
He was
You
old,
know,
to be
For us
fair.
at the Withdean, and then when Billy Painter, was it Billy Painter?
I think so.
Barney.
Not
Marcus
Billy
Painter.
Marcus Painter, thank you.
Marcus Painter.
picked up an injury in our first season at the
Yeah.
AMEX, and we didn't really have a left back. So Tarico came in off the coaching staff.
Yeah, Gus's mate. He just thought, right, you'll do. You're going in. Yeah, just wasn't up to the speed of championship football. As you say about Gonzalo Reyes, just did not have the mentality to be playing any sort of football. How he came on loan from a Premier League side in West Brom and played for, I think, I'm not sure if this is right, Chile multiple times.
Chile. I think he played for Chile.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen him in like World Cup squads and stuff before he joined us. And as we mentioned about Aaron Hughes, just a really unfortunate season to be with us at the end of his career. Got found out a lot because our fullbacks were bombing up the pitch and leaving our centre backs completely exposed. And yeah, maybe not overly his fault that he is selected, but someone's got to go in there. So yeah, my back three of Gonzalo Reyes, Aaron Hughes, and Maurizio Tarico. That defense ships at least 100 goals in a season for me. So yeah. How about that then, boys?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I did. I mean, Aaron reminded me of Joe Mattock. I totally forgot that man even existed. Was it Joe Mattock that got an STI and he couldn't play?
What?
I
All right. Story time with Tom. Okay, let's go.
Carry on.
Just spilling the tea. No, I swear there was a thing that he got like an STI one and he couldn't play. I swear that might have been Joe Mattock.
Sounds like, to be fair, it sounds like Aaron Connolly, to be honest.
Oh. So,
oh my gosh.
So if I to be fair, to defend myself, if I had remembered Joe Mattock, I probably wouldn't have included a certain German. But
Yeah,
We don't.
I'm still extremely, disheartened.
You are triggered.
and-
You are triggered.
as-
Right.
I'm not
back.
triggered. I'm not angry. I keep saying I'm disappointed, Tom.
You won't
I
see me on
really
an
am.
Albion obsessed anymore, listeners. I'll be gone.
Yeah, anyone want to fill that spot or no? I'm joking. We love you, Tom.
Guys.
So guys, we have to pick a back four that we all agree on.
I think
Pascal
Aaron
Gross
Hughes
is not
it.
going in. Aaron
Gross is
Hughes
nowhere.
in.
Yeah, Aaron Hughes is it.
Are we
Like-
playing a back four then, guys?
If we play a back four, I think we'll put. I think Hara Reyes in because me and you have both said him, Joe. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Does
Agreed.
that seem
Yeah.
fair? We
Yeah,
both
that seems
said
fair.
him as a right back. Aaron Hughes, obviously, we've said.
He's backpedaling.
I still stand by what I say. It's if you want to go for a back four, it just depends. You want to play a player out of position, or
I mean, is there any other centre back in there that I guess, Aaron, if you want to put your Withdean one in there, but we might get a bit of stick
we'll
for that on social media for.
Colin Hawkins, my man.
It was a really centre back was so hard. We've had some.
It
Really
was, yeah. It really was.
Like Greg Halford, he was, he wasn't a terrible player by any means. Neither was Aaron Hughes, not really.
No.
But I suppose I was trying to be quite, I say, strict with positions. I didn't want to play a left back as a centre back. So he says putting a midfielder as a right back. But
I was about to say, but you put Gross as a right back. But Gross has played right back.
So then we've got right back of Gonzalo Hara Reyes. We've got Aaron Hughes. We've got Colin Hawkins, and left back.
We've all gone for different people.
We have.
I mean, Tarico has been mentioned
twice.
He was one of my honourable mentions.
But he's not been picked twice.
So.
Who are we going for? Tarico?
Heads or tails? Tarico, heads, chicks, and tails.
All right, who's got a coin?
I was about the next question. Who's got a coin?
Tom's got one. Right. Okay, go.
We're saying heads, chicks, and tails, Tarico. You happy with that, boys?
Yeah.
Happy.
It is heads.
Who was that again?
Tarico, I think.
Oh, it was Christ.
I thought it was Chickson.
I thought it was Chickson.
As you can tell, we're a very professional bunch.
Right, go again.
We'll go again. So, listeners, remember, heads is Tarico, tails is Chickson. Tails, Chickson, heads, Tarico. It is heads again, boys. So we've got Tarico in at left back.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Was that the right way around again? Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure.
Right, Tarico's going in. Is anyone writing this down so we can have it?
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Where's your pad, Aaron? Where's your pad?
Hold on.
Bring out the pad.
So just to remind our listeners, we've got David Gonzalez in goal.
Indeed.
We've gone for a back four. Right back, Gonzalo Hara Reyes. We've got Aaron Hughes, Colin Hawkins, and a left back of Tarico.
Amazing.
I feel sorry for the listeners who never saw Colin Hawkins play. That's what I'm going to say now, because he is god awful.
Wait, you feel sorry for us, or maybe you should?
No, it's because you didn't witness how bad he was, and that's something in life that makes you feel a bit better. So
fair enough.
The misery.
Yeah, it really does. And if anyone's interested, Tottenham have just taken the lead against Liverpool.
Oh, wonderful. And this will be going out after the game, so we'll tell you the full-time score at the end. No, wait. We won't be done towards the end. We'll tell you the full-time score on Sky Sports, which we do not own. Anyway, let's go. My head's fried. Tom, it's your fault because you said Pascal Gross.
I'm sorry, guys. I take full responsibility for all of this mess.
Don't worry about
it. That Gross comment has got me raffled. I don't know where I am or who I am.
Hey, just be thankful that you're not going to have my Twitter mentions over the next week or so.
This is true. I am atting you on everything that Albion has just post. I'm atting you. And people are going to
happy to engage with our listeners and discuss my choice.
It's fine. You're on school holiday. You can Twitter can keep you entertained.
Time to kill.
That's true. Right, let's go on to midfield then. Tom, if you've picked Anthony Knocker or anyone like that, I will come.
But I have picked a certain German. No, I would never do that. I rate Pascal very highly in midfield. So I've gone for a midfield 3.
Yeah.
I think if I'll say these names, I'm sure a lot of people will probably be like, oh, yeah. So I've gone for a midfield 3 of Gary Gardner on loan from Villa in 2014. I've gone for our good friend Kemi Agdestein, who played for us in 2013-14. And then finally, Ryan Harley. They are my midfield 3.
Yeah.
If you want justifications? I mean, I know Ryan Harley scored a really nice free kick against Ipswich, I want to say. But he often looked like he couldn't be interested any less. He just kind of lazily wandered around the pitch, not really doing anything. His work rate wasn't particularly good. He just wasn't very good. I think we bought him in from Bristol Rovers, although that could be wrong. I think he was one of those players that when we played against whatever team he played for in our division, in our League One promotion season, and Poyet sort of had this thing about, I want to buy all the players that play well against us, which is why we bought Craig McHale-Smith and Will Hoskins as well. A name for you there, boys, Will Hoskins. They played well against us when we were in League One, so Poyet went out and bought them. But Ryan Harley just never really did anything apart from score a free kick. Kemi,
You don't have to justify that one.
Yeah, and then Gary Gardner, I get that as a loanee that it's always tricky because you know you're on loan to sort of get experience and game time and all that sort of stuff, but he just didn't bring anything to the side. I thought he played alongside Jake Forster-Caskey, who was his junior and just looked better than him. So yeah, Gary Gardner didn't impress me, so he makes my midfield 3.
Fair enough. I think there's definitely players that would go in there over Gary Gardner for me, but we'll come to that in a second. As you mentioned about Kemi Agdestein, Aaron, if you've got him, you don't need to justify. Just say his name because, as you say, Tom, the less said about him, the better. Who have you got then, Aaron?
Yes, it's to answer your question. I have got Kemi Agdestein in there. Also, I have Ryan Harley in there. One player who I have got in who I don't think you may not have, Joe, Danny Holler.
Danny Holler.
No, I don't
Danny
have Danny
Holler.
Holler.
See, now he's what I thought we. So when we signed him, he was a sort of player that I was hoping would be a bit of Dutch flair and a bit of Dutch quality. You know, really good midfielder, really, really solid player, and he's done nothing. He was there he was with us for 2 years. He's done nothing.
He scored a banger against Brentford, to be fair.
Yeah, but then you can say that the same for Scalak. He scored like one worldie against QPR, then done very little ever since, apart from one really good free kick against.
And he got really drunk.
MK Dom. Did, yeah, that is true. True. Why we have a lot of alcoholics in our team? Anyway, back to the worst 11. Yeah, so Danny Holler for me, I just didn't bring anything. Like similar to Gardner, you know, Caskey was playing with Caskey, but Caskey looked better than him. And Jake Forster-Caskey was an okay player for a youngster. But yeah, to get outshone by him is kind of concerning. So yeah, those are my midfield 3.
Fair enough. Yeah, right off the bat, guys, I've also got Ryan Harley and Kemi Agdestein, so you can put them right in the heart of our midfield, Aaron. If you want to write that down. Also, 2 names that haven't actually been mentioned yet, and I've dropped one of them back to play in midfield because he could probably play on the left side of midfield. As I say, I've got a midfield 4, so I've got 2 more names to throw at you guys. I've got Nzuzi Toko, who was, I think, the biggest flop ever.
I don't know who that even is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really? I think he played maybe 1 game for us. It was a pre-season friendly. It was against Lewis, and he was terrible. I think we only beat Lewis 1-0 that day or something ridiculous. I think we might have even drew against them. But yeah, that was Sami Hyypiä at his best. And I've also gone for, on the left side of midfield, Elvis Manu.
Yeah.
I have. I know maybe he's a shout for the front 3, But yeah, I had to mention him, and I've dropped him back into midfield because, again, one of the biggest flops going. We were so excited about him. Everyone looked at his FIFA card on FIFA, obviously, and was like, "Oh my god, 95 pace!" And turned out he had the work rate of. Sorry,
and he wasn't very good with 95 pace in real life.
he was terrible. He was awful. Yeah.
Who would have thought that FIFA cards don't tell the truth?
Exactly. Again, another issue with work rate, and I think that's the same for all four of the players I've selected in my midfield. Just people that just were not interested in playing for Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. And again, backs up my saying earlier of the worst recruitment we've had under David Burke. A few of them came in under him. So yeah. A midfield four of Nzuzi Toko, Ryan Harley, Kemi Agustin, and Elvis Manu. What do we say?
I think we've all said Kemi and Ryan Harley.
Yeah,
so
he's
I think
got to go in.
Yeah, those two are in.
I think Nzuzi Toko, for me, I don't think we saw enough of him to sort. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think in the preseason he did play. He was, and he obviously wasn't good enough for us because he couldn't make a team that was struggling in the Championship. But I'd be happy to include Elvis because, as you say, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of fun to be had with obviously his first name being Elvis, and a lot of puns were coming out. Heartbreak Hotel and You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
he reminded me a bit of he's almost like a Jurgen Locadia, a lot of sort of hype about him, but actually, nothing ever came of it. So for me, I'd be happy to include Elvis.
Yeah, fair enough. I know, as I say, the viewers might say that Elvis Manu wasn't a midfielder, and obviously Tom backed up his Pascal Gross thing about him not being a right back. But yeah, Elvis Manu, you're dropping into the side. So we've got a midfield three then of Ryan Harley, Kemi Agustin, and Elvis Manu. I guess Elvis Manu can play in the 10.
Yeah, he can play number 10.
Let's say he's playing.
I'll move him into. That's fine. I'll move him into the 10.
Lovely. Right. So we've spoken defenders, we've spoken goalkeeper, we've spoken midfielders, guys, and now we are moving on to the illustrious attack that we've all chosen. This was for me the hardest thing to do. I think I changed it so many times in terms of picking the final three. There were so many names.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, what?
No, not the hardest as in who do I pick? As in who the hell do I put in here? So I guess I'll start us off because, as I say, I've got three. You guys have got two. So yeah, I'll go with Achuba Akpom, who came from the Arsenal Academy, and we thought, oh, what a great asset to our options. Maybe wouldn't start all the time, but I think we saw him in the under-23s, and he absolutely ripped us apart. One game, I think, scored so many goals for them, and you just thought this is a great bit of youth, a great bit of pace, and just fearlessness, really. But he came in, and I don't think he scored once, did he?
Nope.
No, I remember he played against Brentford in the 3-3 draw and spooned a header over from 2 yards. So would fit quite well in this Brighton team, to be honest. So yeah, I got Chuba Akpom. I've got a guy that a lot of people were throwing about on Twitter. We've got John Obika, who came in on loan from Spurs, I think.
Yep.
To be fair to him, he did score for us.
He did. He did a salute to the fans behind the goal.
He did indeed. But yeah, there was a game at the Amex, and he tried a bicycle kick.
Yeah.
And I think it went over the North Stand and onto the railway track. It was that bad. So yeah, not great from him. And we just have to mention this guy. We have to talk about him for at least 10 minutes, I feel. Leon Best. What a guy.
On my notes, I have Leon Best as well. On my notes, I've put down quite a detailed description of the players down on there with us, the goals. What I put for Leon Best is trash. That is it. That's all needs to be said. Really?
He would wander around the pitch completely disinterested, couldn't care less. I think I think Groundhopper Cam, who we had on last episode, pointed out that he had a golden chance, but he was too busy moaning at somebody and missed the chance to score. So that just sums Leon Best up for me. I guess Tom, who have you got in your front two?
I have also got Leon Best. I think I'm right in saying that he had worked with Houghton before.
He has, Newcastle.
And I think he had done okay. Not amazing, but he had done okay at Newcastle. So I think Chrissy Houghton had brought him in to sort of give us another option up the top. But as you say, Joe, he just seemed disinterested, completely not bothered, didn't care, didn't give a toss. And I've got one of my honourable mentions is Chris O'Grady, because I think he was the victim of playing above his level. I think he played for us during a championship season that we weren't great, but I just don't think he was good enough to play in the championship. But at least he tried, and a trier is always better. Even if they don't score loads of goals, or they're not great, a trier is always someone you can respect a little bit. But Leon Best just couldn't care less, just could not care less. So that's why he makes my front three as well. I've also gone for Chuba Akpom as well. As you say, Joe, really exciting in the under-23s. He looked fantastic for Arsenal's youth setup. And he'd gone on to Hull, I think. He played for Hull on loan, and he did okay. And then he came to us, and again, as you say, he was like, a bit of an exciting, pacey, direct forward to compete in our setup. Wouldn't necessarily start, but as an option from the bench. And again, he just didn't look particularly interested. He didn't look up to speed with the pace of the game. So that's why he makes my three. And then for my last addition to the forward berth is Barn Door Billy Painter, who you may remember, boys and girls, from being on loan from the Leeds United during the 2011-2012.
How do we pull that deal off? Jeez.
I know, right? They made him, don't you know? And he just, it's in the name, Barn Door Billy. He just, some of that finishing or not finishing was just awful, woeful shooting of the ball. And I think that just completes my front three of abysmalness.
Fair enough.
Yes,
Aaron, can you back any of those up? Not that they need backing up.
No, I've got Chuba Akpom as well. My front three have a combined total of 54 matches and 1 goal.
Bloody hell.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, Chuba Akpom's in there. Leon Best is in there, and he's already been mentioned, but I put Chris O'Grady in there.
Yeah.
I was there for his one and only goal he scored.
If he scores, we're on the pitch. I remember that.
I just remember, like you said, Tom, he did work hard. It's a little bit harsh. He's a little bit harsh, but he was very bad. No, he wasn't a championship quality striker. Maybe I would have said League Two at best. And like I said, 31 games, 1 goal.
Yeah,
says a lot about a striker, really. And to be fair, the goal he got, he couldn't really miss. He was 1-on-1 to me. And it was a actually good finish, which took everyone by surprise in the away end of Brentford. But that was Houghton's first game in charge, and then I don't think we really saw him after that.
No, I don't think he sort of just faded away into obscurity after that.
He did, yeah. And I think, like you said, some honorable mentions I put it down. I've got Darren Bent. A lot of hype.
Yeah,
when he came in, he scored against Fulham and then did very little after that. Barn Door Billy, like you said, he was, he was something else. And I think that for me was the honourable mention I got up front. But other than that, I'm happy with Chuba Akpom and Leon Best. If someone was to pick the third one, then by all means.
I
I think
mean,
I'm going to put my honourable mentions in there as well, because there's some of the comments on Twitter as well about Adrian Kalunga as well. I think
I didn't think he was that bad. I thought he was okay.
it was his
he just didn't get the
attitude.
game time.
Yeah,
didn't he?
true.
What is it? I think there was a game. I think he either got sent off or he was subbed, and it was like the 80. He was like late 80 something minute, and I think we were losing. And in you want your players, a bit like Aaron Connolly the other day. You want your players to get off the pitch quickly so you can make the change and you can go out there and get your equaliser. But he just kind of flounced off the pitch really slowly, and you think, just get off the pitch. That sort of stuff makes me cross, because it's that I'm being subbed, I need to get off so someone else can get on the pitch and hopefully score a goal or help score a goal. So I don't like that sort of attitude. And I think that was Adrian Kalunga, or it might have been. I think was it David Rodriguez? I think his name was.
Oh yeah,
Spanish
I remember him. Yeah,
striker who came in, didn't really do anything. But I don't think they were at the same levels as some of the Leon Best, Billy Painter, Akpom, and whatnot. Just a few kind of names to throw out there and say, "Hey guys, do you remember when we had these players?"
Definitely. So Chuba Akpom's been chosen twice. Leon Best, I think, has made all of our teams. And I feel really sad to put Chris O'Grady in there, because I actually quite liked him as a guy. I didn't like him as a player, but I thought his attitude was right up there. As you say, Tom, he always tried. I felt like he came across really well in some interviews that he had after games where he was clearly frustrated.
He was very honest. And I think in one
he
admitted he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure he knew that.
Yeah, as a professional, must be a really hard thing to admit, especially in front of the media and stuff. I'm not good enough to play in this league. And that, for me, that earns my respect, because even if, he didn't, he scored once, I can at least respect when a man is admitting that, I'm not quite up to this. So fair play to him. It's better than thinking you're God's gift, like some players do, and then doing very little with it.
Aaron Connolly.
I'm glad you said it and not me.
A lot of people mentioned Aaron Connolly and Jurgen Locardi to be included in our worst 11. But to be honest, I think that they are levels above the people we've just mentioned.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if
they than Connolly.
Fair enough. So Chuba Akpom's in, Leon Best is in. You both said Chris O'Grady, so I guess he has to go in as well. So sorry about that.
I feel bad.
It's okay.
Can we put Billy Painter in there instead?
Let's put Billy Painter in there.
I feel sad for Chris O'Grady, because I respect the commitment and the honesty from Chris O'Grady, whereas Billy Painter.
Go on then. Let's put Billy Painter in ahead of Chris O'Grady. Chris, you survived for today. You might be on the subs bench or the reserves, but
is that worse though? Being the reserves, the worst.
The worst. Yeah, I think that might be as well.
No, because it just means that you're not
slightly better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like in the reserves, you'd see Lewis Dunk and Anthony Knockaert and people like that, because they're not crap.
Yeah, but then you're sort of. Oh yeah, no, fair enough.
There's method to my
there's logic behind it.
Yeah, except for putting Pascal Gross at right back, but
talk to Graham Potter about that, boys, not me.
Well, you said it. I
did say it. Unfortunately, I've had the displeasure of watching Pascal Gross play at right back.
Yeah,
it's not a fun experience, I have to admit.
No,
it's not great, but I love Pascal, so.
He plays there for his
pace. Don't get me wrong. I like Pascal Gross as a person, as a human, as a player, but not as a right back.
Fair enough.
The last I will say on it.
Okay, Tom. We'll move swiftly on from that and pray for your Twitter mentions, as I say. But Aaron, if you would like to just read out our final 11, including the manager, please.
Okay, bear with me 2 seconds. So we have David Gonzalez in goal, Reyes at right back, with Aaron Hughes and Sir Colin Hawkins at centre back, with Tarico as our left back, with a midfield. We'll go midfield 2 of Augustine and Harley, with Elvis Manu playing in the number 10, And I think we agreed on Billy Painter, Chuba Akpom, Leon Best as our 11, with Sammy Hoopier as the manager of the worst 11 that we have seen at the AMEX. I think that is a god-awful team, and we've done very well here, boys.
And I think we've also got to put Sammy Lee as the assistant manager, who I think joined the club for a minimum of 2 hours until he was off.
He went to Southampton, didn't he? I
He
remember that.
did. So yeah, there we have it, guys. The worst AMEX 11, including manager. Let us know in the comments and on Twitter if this team was in the championship, where would they finish and how many points would they get? Because I don't think it would be too many. Definitely not. But yeah, we've got quite a cool idea coming up, hopefully for you guys soon, where we are going to split the Albion Obsessed guys. So it'll be the Albion Obsessed OGs, me and Toby, against the Albion Obsessed New Blood, Aaron, Tom, and Curtis. And we're going to pick from a pool of Brighton players and pick our best 11s and put them head to head and see what you guys think on Twitter as to which team would win that football match. So that's going to be quite fun. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that would be exciting, especially if
be good.
we don't have much football in the near future to look forward to. So it'd be something to occupy our minds.
Oh, definitely.
Certainly
if
will.
Anyone's got any other ideas, please tell us. We won't steal them. We'll just, mull over them and maybe put our own adaptation on it. But hey, that's fine. Cool.
I do have a couple of things in the head.
Oh, pop it in the group chat and we'll see if we can get them to fruition. So yeah, that was 53 minutes of your life to hear about the worst AMEX 11. So if you have made it this far, can you tweet? What should they tweet, Aaron? If they've made it this far,
don't tweet me.
Yeah, I was going to say don't at Tom. Christ, his mentions are going to be popping off all week now. I'm interested to hear other people's. To be honest, I've read a couple on Twitter on the pinned tweet we had. But I'm interested to see, like you said, Joe, in the championship, how many points would this team get? Where would they finish?
How many goals would they score?
How many goals as well? That'd be a very good one. That'd be a very good one. But yeah, I'm interested to read it on Twitter at some point during this week, and yeah, it should be very good.
Yeah, hopefully get some interactions on there. As I say, I've got my title, so thank you very much, Tom. And yeah, before we go, lads, this is something I'm going to do every week. I'm going to throw you off and say one word, Tom, on that team.
Fire.
Aaron.
Wow. So I'm going to just put wow.
And my word is.
That's all we need to know.
No words, just a shake of it.
Pretty much.
That's all we need to know.
Cool.
For our audio listeners, Joe just shook his head sadly.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. Sorry.
Ah yes,
forgive Spotify. We love you too. Don't worry. Cool. Yeah, nice one. That's 55 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Amazing. Yeah, indeed. As always, a pleasure to talk to you guys. And Tom, again, I'm just going to keep shaking my head at you.
Don't at me, kids. Don't at me.
Yeah.
Take it up with Graham.
Maybe.
Just going to sit here and shake my head.
I'm sure we're going to be sat here all evening.
His head disappointedly.
Brilliant. Well, anyway, hopefully we'll play against Brentford. If we don't, we'll come at you with some more wonderful Albion ideas. I am delivering the giveaway present tomorrow to our lucky winner.
Awesome.
So I am Santa for the day. Amazing. Anyway, take care, guys. Follow us on Twitter over there, above Aaron's head. There we go. Albion Obsessed. Yes. Indeed. Albion Obsessed. If you are listening on Spotify, get involved. Send us your tweets, and we will see you next time. Up the Albion and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.